Hello, it's Concord Wind. I just had a 5 hour energy. I had my mom check my account because they won't let me check my own account. I have to have my mom do it because of my joint account. I'm a 33-year-old man, but I can't check my own account. So, anyways, it's no big deal. God arranged it to be this way, so whatever. Um, and I had enough money for a 5 hour energy, and I needed it because I stayed up all night. I went to bed at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, woke up at 1 in the morning, and I've been up ever since. Right now it is 8:45, and so that 5 hour energy has helped a lot because I was about to go to sleep, and I didn't want to sleep all day and have my sleeping schedule be messed up. So this worked out pretty good, but it's only a 5 hour energy. I mean, so in about 5 hours, I'm gonna be crashing really hard, and it's just my sleeping. Well, my sister might buy me a 5 hour energy midway through the day. I don't know. We'll see if she does. Hopefully she does, because I really will need it. But right now I'm good. Anyways, since I'm feeling energetic, I was listening to some old, old songs that I made, and they're not really old. They're still new, but they feel old because I've made so many songs the past month. So the songs at the start of last month, the start of April, feel old compared to the songs I've made, the songs I made at the end of April and the songs I've made now in May. Um, those songs feel old, but I was going back and listening to them, and I haven't listened to the songs I made at the beginning of April in a while. Well, it feels like a while. It still hasn't been long. Its time is really weird. I've just been working so much, and it just feels like I've produced so much content that like it feels like a lot of time has gone by. Because I don't see how I've managed to produce as much content as I've produced. I've slowed down recently, without the caffeine, but now that I've got caffeine today, anyways, I want to sing this song. I was listening to it on the way back from getting my 5 hour energy. I don't know if you guys have heard it or not. I don't even know how many views it has. It has 10 views and 0 likes. Whatever. It's a great song. That the views and the likes are no indication whatsoever of how good the song is. The song is good, even if nobody likes it. It's a good song. So I'm gonna sing it, and I've never sang it before. I don't know the words. I'm gonna have to read the lyrics, and I don't know the melody. I don't know how, like. So I might really butcher this. I don't know how this is gonna go. Kind of nervous because I've never tried. I've never even tried to sing this before, so I don't know. But I'm gonna try. It's an Irish song, and I don't have an Irish accent, and I can't do an Irish accent, so I'm just gonna sing it in my normal voice. Let's see if this is any good. It's a great song though. Today we're meeting with the king, experience and work, hiding in the shadows where the old illusions lurk. We've known him in the flesh, he's practical and real, breaking every boundary and breaking every seal. It's in the awesome wonders, it's a marvel to the eyes. Now the sun is finally breaking through the heavy Irish skies. It's full of substance, no, it's never in vain. Truth in life is like the harvest through the rain. We understand the mystery. We found the hidden key on the brightest path that a man could ever see. No longer out here searching. Vision's coming clear. The kingdom is among us and the kingdom's finally here. God will love you always with no shadow of regret. We've gained the way of life and we haven't seen the best of it yet. It's the way of the eternal, yeah, we're singing it plain. Our life is not in vain, no, it's not in vain. I told you it's a good song, but I might have butchered it. I don't know, I'll have to go back and listen to this recording and see what I sounded like. I don't know if I was able to sing it good or not. I might have sounded horrible. I can't tell because I can't hear my voice when I'm singing. Like, I can hear it, but it's hard to tell sometimes. Like, sometimes I can hear when I'm off key and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'm tone deaf. God gave me an unusual talent where I can sing certain songs sometimes, and sometimes I'm tone deaf and I can't sing anything. I don't know. God really was interesting with me. So, but I think I probably did an okay job on that. Maybe. Well, I'll go back and look at it. So, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to stitch it. If this video is salvageable, if I did a good job singing, I'll keep the footage. And if not, then nobody's going to see this. But if it's good, then I'll stitch it to another video as a continuation to this one. So I'm in the video now, and yeah. All right, I just listened to it, and it's okay. I mean, it's like, I didn't do like an excellent. You can tell I didn't have experience singing that particular song. It was my first time singing it ever, and I did it on video, which is like retarded, but it actually turned out pretty good for my first time. So I'm going to keep it, go ahead and upload that. And now let's get to God's words. I want to read God's words about how Satan uses science to corrupt man. I know that's very loosely connected to anything that I've talked about in this video so far. Sorry about that. But God says, "What is science? Is not science held in high prestige in the mind of each and every human and considered profound? When science is mentioned, do people not feel this is something beyond the reach of ordinary people? This is a topic that only scientific researchers or experts can touch. It has nothing to do with us regular folks. Does it have any connection to ordinary people? How does Satan use science to corrupt people? In our discussion here, we will talk only about the things that people frequently encounter in their own lives and disregard other matters. There is a word, genes. Have you heard of it? You are all familiar with this term. Were genes not discovered through science? What exactly do genes mean to people? Do they not make people feel that the body is a mysterious thing? When people are introduced to this topic, will there not be some people, especially the curious, who will want to know more and want more details? These curious people focus their energy on this subject, and when they do not have other things to do, they'll search for information in books and on the internet to learn more details about it. What is science? To speak plainly, science is the thoughts and theories of things that man is curious about, things that are unknown and not told to him by God. Science is the thoughts and theories about the mysteries that man wants to explore. What is the scope of science? You could say that it is rather broad. Man researches and studies everything in which he is interested. Science involves researching the details and the laws of these things and then putting forth plausible theories which cause everyone to think, these scientists are really terrific. They know so much, enough to understand these things. They have so much admiration for scientists, do they not? People that research science, what sort of views do they hold? Do they not want to research the universe, to research the mysterious things in their area of interest? What is the final outcome of this? In some of the sciences, people draw their conclusions by conjecture, and in others they rely on human experience to draw conclusions. In yet other fields of science, people come to their conclusions based on historical and background observations. Is this not so? So what does science do for people? What science does is merely to allow people to see the objects in the physical world and to satisfy man's curiosity, but it cannot enable man to see the laws by which God holds sovereignty over all things. Man seems to find answers in science, but those answers are puzzling and bring only temporary satisfaction, a satisfaction that only serves to confine the heart of man to the material world. Man feels that he has received answers from science, so whatever issues arise, he uses his scientific views as a basis to prove and accept that issue. Man's heart becomes seduced by science and possessed by it, to the point that man no longer has the mind to know God, worship God, and believe that all things come from God, and then man should look to him for answers. Is this not so? The more a person believes in science, the more absurd they become, believing that everything has a scientific solution, that research can solve anything. They do not seek God, and they do not believe he exists. There are many long-term believers in God who, when faced with any problem, will use a computer to look things up and search for answers. They believe only in scientific knowledge. They do not believe that God's words are the truth. They do not believe that God's words can solve all of mankind's problems. They do not view every one of mankind's problems from the perspective of the truth. No matter what problem they encounter, they never pray to God or try to resolve it by seeking the truth in God's words. In many matters, they prefer to believe that knowledge can solve the problem. For them, science is the ultimate answer. God is totally absent from such people's hearts. They are disbelievers, and their views on belief in God are no different from those of many distinguished academics and scientists who are always trying to examine God using scientific methods. For example, there are many religious experts who have gone to the mountain where the ark came to rest, and thus they proved the existence of the ark. But in the appearance of the ark, they do not see the existence of God. They believe only in the stories and the history. This is the result of their scientific research and study of the material world. If you research material things, whether it be microbiology, astronomy, or geography, you will never find a result that determines that God exists or that he holds sovereignty over all things. So what does science do for man? Does it not distance man from God? Does it not cause people to subject God to study? Does it not make people more doubtful of God's existence and sovereignty, and thus deny and betray God? This is the consequence. So when Satan uses science to corrupt man, what aim is Satan trying to achieve? It wants to use scientific conclusions to mislead people and make them numb, and use ambiguous answers to hold on to people's hearts so that they will not seek out or believe in God's existence. So this is why I say that science is one of the ways in which Satan corrupts people. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. That's very true. God's words are very true. And I'm so glad that God even pointed out that Christian science does not bring people to God either. You know, Christian science, like creationism. Creationism is still theoretical. It's on the level of theory, and it doesn't bring people to God. It's observing evidence and requiring evidence for God's existence. And that's like Thomas, who required the evidence of the holes in Jesus's hands after Jesus's resurrection. And Jesus said, "You believe because you have seen. Blessed are those who believe who have not seen." And so we should not require evidence for God. That's wrong. So that's why Christian science is wrong, and it's corrupt just as much as secular science is corrupt, because it demands evidence for God, and we should not demand evidence for God. We should have childlike hearts. Jesus said, if you cannot humble yourself as this little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. What does it mean to humble yourself as a little child? It means to believe without evidence. Because children don't need evidence to believe in, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and all that. They'll believe whatever you tell them. And if you tell them God exists, they will just believe that God exists. And that's how we should believe in God. We should believe in God without evidence. We should just believe in him. That's how we should believe in God, as we should believe as children believe in God. So anyways, and my cousin Travis and I, we debated, and he was providing so much evidence for the Bible, and he was like, and you haven't named a single fact. And it's like, well, I don't need facts. I don't need evidence. I don't need that. I'm not Thomas. I have a childlike faith. And, so I didn't know how to debate with him, because he wanted me to provide evidence. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't provide evidence other than my experience. And he said he can't refute my experience, but my experience isn't real evidence because it's subjective. And so it's like, well, then I have no evidence to provide for you. And if you can't accept the truth without evidence, then you don't have a childlike faith. And if you don't have a childlike faith, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. So that's just the way it is, you know? So anyways, yeah. So thanks so much for watching. Man, caffeine is awesome. I'm getting some theocrine tomorrow as a caffeine replacement, and I'm hoping that works. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We will see, because I can't do caffeine every day. You know, this is kind of a special day. Had caffeine today, and it's a special day. But this is not normally the case, so don't expect it. Don't expect videos of this, you know, quality to be produced regularly. It's not going to happen unless the theocrine works for me. And now if the theocrine is an effective caffeine replacement, then I will be able to produce videos of this quality regularly. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, may God's will be done in your life, in my life, in the lives of everybody. God bless, God curse, God save, God judge, God chastise, God do whatever he wants. That's my way of saying God bless. Is God do whatever he wants. May God's will be done. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching.